The flea market today is so much more different than what the flea market was a month ago. Like, it's night and day. And I think the final nail in the coffin, what really got people angry, and it brought up a huge discussion in my chat on Twitch, was the thick item case not being able to be sold anymore. There is a very good argument for and a very good argument against, and a lot of people are upset that they can't sell it anymore. And I'm going to talk to you guys about why the casuals are upset, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why I think BSG made it so that you can't sell it anymore. Again, this is just a huge rant. I usually don't do videos like this where I just go off and I just, I just talk about my feelings about these changes, but I think it needed to be said because it's getting brought up a lot on my Twitch chat, and I just want to tell everyone about it. I would like to have a civil discussion in the comments below. If you want to discuss this, I am so down, but just let's remember to be civil. Let's be friendly about it, because that's all you can ask for at the end of the day, right? Is a nice friendly discussion, and this is a nice friendly rant about my feelings, and I hope you enjoy it. There's always been this nostalgia for pre-flea market. I don't know what it is. Like, I've played pre-flea market days, and I never look back and just go, oh, those were the days, man. Those, like, it's just, I really feel like everything gets rose-colored glasses when you think about stuff like that, right? So I've played pre-flea market, and I've obviously played post-flea market. Now, what I've wanted, though, was I do believe that the flea market was a little too OP, right? I really do believe that. But at the same time, I did see, the need for it, because then if you're a casual player, you can still feel like you're going to be up to snuff with everyone else that's running a slick and an Alton and whatnot. Something I did want to try, though, and I felt like Tarkov kind of wasn't taking swings anymore. I really felt like BSG stopped taking swings with things from the beta when it started getting really popular, because there was a lot of backlash about a lot of stuff, right? So I really felt like before it got super popular, I feel like we were taking swings at a lot of things, trying things out, and then it just kind of settled into just like people liked it how it is, and if they changed one little thing, people had meltdowns, and it was what it was. But lately, this patch, at least, I feel like they're swinging at the friggin' fences. I don't know about you guys, but I really do feel like that. So before patch 12.12, and we knew what was coming in it, I wanted to really try a wipe where they took armor, guns, and ammo off the flea market. Everything else is fair trade. You can do barter items, so you can get all that stuff, but I just wanted everything out of there. And then they showed the patch notes for 12.12. And people had either super excitement on their faces or they had egg on their faces and they were upset. This is a list of everything that was in the, not allowed on the flea market anymore. So they put out this list and everyone was like, holy shit. Like, we were all freaking out. I have to tell you, I remember first seeing this on stream and just being like, I can't believe this. Like, all the good ammo's on there. You can see this list right now. All the good ammo's on there. Most of the good armor's on there, and a bunch of miscellaneous things like Reap IR, 60 rounders, 100 rounders, big drum mags. Like, a lot of good stuff was on there, and I was like, holy crap, they're taking swings. Like, this is awesome. This isn't exactly what we wanted entirely, but you know what, this'll do. I'm down. And then they kept adding stuff, right? Before we go on with the video about how, things have been added on since then, and how, why the thick item case is a good and a bad thing, I do want to say this, is that I was worried about these changes making it so that the casual players are even further behind the hardcore than they are, right, like, say, past wipes. But I don't think it's going to be like that. But again, this wipe will tell us. So I was worried that, the hardcore players will always be able to get their hands on slicks and good ammo and everything, where the casuals will have to just like slog it and not be able to find that kind of stuff at all. And I think this wipe will be able to tell us, this type of information. Also, BSG will be able to find out this information. There's a lot of stuff that they can see in the back end. So I'm really excited about that. And let's be honest, the hardcore player base is only like, let's say 10% of the player base, even, you know what I mean? If that. Most, I would say like a good 80 to 90% are probably casual players, and you know they will see the chads here or there, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, this is why I wanted to try it for one wipe, and then we look at the data and we see if it's working or if it's not working, or hell, just see if this is what BSG wanted. If this is the vision BSG wants, all for it. You know, at the end of the day, it's their video game, but I am kind of curious to see if this will widen the gap between casual and hardcore, or if it's going to make it a little bit smaller. I can tell you this though, with all these changes, it does seem like people aren't running slick daddy M61 things right away, all day, all the time right now. It does seem like there is still an early wipe. There is still like, it's now turning into like a mid wipe. It doesn't seem like it's going straight to late wipe like it usually does. And it's really nice to see. But, you know, again, time will tell. It's only been like a week and a little bit here since the wipe. But I just feel like since other past wipes, it doesn't feel as intense. So we saw that huge list of things that they had banned, right? So we saw the list of things they banned. So December 14th, they added to it. So December 14th, they added the Alton. They added the Cayman hybrid helmet. They added the Airframe 10, and they also added the Fast MT to that list. Okay, you know, that makes sense. Those are top tier armors. Already top tier armor was on that list, so it makes sense. And then December 16th, they added something that has never been on the list, and that's guns. I was blown away. Once I saw guns getting added, I was like, oh, they're serious about this. Like, they're being super serious about this. So they added the Scar H, they had the 5.56 MDR, the 7.62 MDR, the Mutant, the G28, and the RSAS. So I was like, okay, it looks like BSG is taking things real, like very real. December 17th, they added more things. December 17th, they added the SP6, the Gazelle, and the KS23. Okay, crazy. Like that's pretty nuts. But it was really funny because during this whole time, I was like, everyone was saying like Tagilla armor and Killa armor is still on the flea market. Like, it's inevitable. It's going to be gone soon, right? December 20th, Tagilla armor, Killa armor, and even just like the regular AVS rigs, the level 4 AVS rigs, gone. Those are banned off the flea market too. The same day, also later on in the day, thick item cases got banned. And it was crazy. Once you saw the thick item case, I was like, Jesus, like they're going after everything. And then finally yesterday, the 21st, Tagilla's helmet went on there. Now, I know what I want to talk to this video about, and that's the thick item case, but I do want to say they're adding things daily. Like, they're figuring out like, okay, this might be getting taken advantage of, get rid of this. I think one of the biggest things, to be honest, that they got rid of was the lab key cards not being allowed to be on the flea market. The lab key cards not being able to be put on the flea market is pretty crazy, in the sense of like, lab mains now will only be able to go into lab unless they find the key cards in raid. They'll only be able to go in there once every trader reset, which is pretty crazy. Or maybe they just plan on adding the lab key cards later on. Like, I could see that too, right? Lab key cards aren't allowed right now, but maybe like 2 months down the road, okay, we'll add the labs key cards now. But as of right now, lab key cards is pretty nuts. But I do want to talk about the thick item case, because I think that is something that is just crazy. It's always been like a checkpoint in the game, right? You get the thick item case, you're jacked, you're super excited, and it goes two ways. You keep it, you shove everything in there, and you're like, okay, like no worries about room for a while. Or you go what happens with a lot of people, and you sell the thick item case. Someone was saying something like 90% of people sell their thick item case. I don't know if that's true. Someone said someone said on one of the podcasts, Nikita said that 90% of the people sell their thick item case, and I don't know if I believe that. I asked them to show the receipts because I need proof of that, but I'm sure it's still pretty high, right? And this is the issue with the flea market, or the thick item case not being on the flea market anymore. A lot of people relied on that money, right? At that time, they might have been poor, slogging through, but once you get to level 35, you get that quest done, you're like, okay, I'm going to sell this for like 15 to 20 million rubles. And for the rest of the wipe, this is the money that, is going to make it so that I can just continuously play and not worry about getting cash. This is the issue a lot of casual players have. They're not going to have that, that big flush amount of money coming into their account at around level 35. This is very scary for a lot of people, and you not being able to put a ton of items on the flea market, at least high value ones, when you find them, means you're not going to be able to get a ton of cash. But I do have to let you guys know this, because these big items aren't like your slicks, your M61, all this stuff isn't allowed on the flea market, doesn't mean there's not items that are super expensive on the flea market still. Trust me, it just makes certain other items now more expensive. So you will be able to get a lot of cash, but not this big flush amount that you're used to. And that's why people are mad, right? You have to think about it. They don't have much time to play, and they love the game. They might not want to, quote unquote, rat it up all the time, just looking for cash and then being like, okay, I can afford one good, decent kit. Like, them selling the thick item case was kind of freedom for them to just play and use whatever they want for at least 2 months until they wanted to go play a different game or something, right? And that sucks. That does suck. I get that feeling. I get why casuals are upset about not being able to put the thick item case on the flea market. Yeah, that's really the only thing I can see. I've talked to a lot of people about it, and that's their big issue with it, right? Them wanting to buy stuff off the flea market. Some people were saying, "Oh, now I can't even buy, thick item cases off the flea market." Dude, the barter has always been cheaper. The thick item case barter has always been cheaper than buying it off the flea market. I don't care what you say it is. You might have just not looked at it. So, like, that's why I feel bad for the casuals. And that's something I don't think a lot of people are talking about, is that, they're not going to get their big surplus of money so that they can play for the next 2 months, and just be willy-nilly, free willy, kind of just, I don't care about money kind of style. But at the same time, for those casual people listening to this, you have to remember that BSG doesn't want you to feel comfortable ever. They don't ever want you to feel like you're always flush with money and you're good with money. And that's why I think they made this change. They don't want everyone to feel like, I just got to get to level 35 and boom, 15 million. I'm good. Right? And I get it. The haves and the have-nots now are even wider, right? The people that play that are hardcore can easily have 10, 15 million, have their Bitcoin farm going, stuff like that, where the casual players aren't. And now they're even further behind because they can't get that big, surge of money going into their account. That's not, they're going to fix the way the hardcore people play too, because they have to, right? They want the feeling of everyone being like, oh shit, I'm almost broke. And I get that. But you have to see it from their angle. You have to see it from the casual angle. I like testing this stuff out. I am going to say this. It's a beta game. We're playing a game that is in beta that we should be testing these things about with. And at the end of the day, if you don't like it, let's talk about it, but civilly. I'm a friggin' idiot. More civil than how I have seen people talking. Do you think BSG is going to listen to someone that's like all cap locking, telling them they're effing idiots and blah, blah, blah? Like, let's have a good discussion about this. Let's test it for one wipe and let's see where we go. But I think we owe it to BSG. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to the video game to just try to do these tests. And then if we don't like them, we'll see. We'll see if we don't like them. I don't know, guys. I want you to put in the comments below what you think. I have been talking about this a lot on my Twitch channel, which is of course twitch.tv/Geekseh. Come by, say hello. I would love to have a discussion with you. You know, I'm always I do love to play devil's advocate a lot. I'm not gonna lie. If you have a point that you're trying to make, I will try to devil's advocate it, just because I like a good debate. And I'm not gonna say it in a mean way. I'm just gonna probably try to debate you maybe a little bit. I might just, if it's a point that like I'm like, yeah, that's a good point, I'm not going to try to debate because I'm not that smart. But I like to have a nice debate. I like to have a good discussion. And you know, I'm Canadian, so I want to be it to be civil, and I want it to be cool and calm. And that's what I want the comments to be. Let's talk about this stuff. How do you guys feel? Put it in the comments below. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Why not? I want to hear back from you guys. Also, if you like the channel, I have a bunch of videos coming out, more on EFT, all the stuff that they're doing. Come by, hang out, and I hope you subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you again.